True, storytelling can be an incredibly powerful weapon in business, but almost everything else you've heard about it is a big fat lie. Nearly all the advice about storytelling is the exact opposite of what you should do in business speaking. It will backfire on you, make people dread listening to you speak, and give you a reputation as a melodramatic, emotionally unhinged weirdo. Ask me how I know. Today, I'm going to teach you what I learned the hard way, so you can get storytelling for business right the first time, getting people to remember and act without ever damaging your reputation. The best part? The right way is actually easier than the wrong one. The most critical bad advice we need to correct is about how long your story should be. You get crap advice like, just make it as long as it has to be, or if it's really interesting, you can talk for hours. Steve Jobs, he's really famous for being a great corporate storyteller. But if you actually pay attention, he maybe talks story for 2, maybe 3 minutes at the beginning of a 90-minute keynote. We don't need to pack a story with a whole ton of information. The only thing we need to do is get some emotion so we can be very lean. People decide with emotion. And if you do that in the beginning of your presentation, it charges everything that you say afterwards. The first time you use a story in business, all you want to do is just make sure you tick a little box of emotion and guarantee that you don't go so long that people check out. Their time is their money, and you might be comfortable investing money in your marketing campaign, but when you talk a long story, you are asking the client to donate money to your campaign. Don't do it. Stick to 2 minutes max when you're in person. 1 minute max when you're online. Now that's a clear target. And it's better because it's a lot less work to write something short. So that brings us to the last bad advice we need to correct. You're excited that you only have to write 2 minutes, but then when you start to write it, there's just not enough time to fit in the rising stakes, the 13-point structure, and the climatic moment where everything changes in a single moment. All of that is a bad pile of advice too. You do not want things complex. For business storytelling, that is harder to do, but it also destroys the precious attention of the people that are there. We're here to get things done, not to watch a movie. A simple, less exciting work story is going to have far more impact and also be a lot easier to do. For example, you might tell a story that's just, this morning I spilled coffee on my shirt, but fortunately I don't have any client meetings today, but man, you have really got to have backup plans for everything. It's effortless, but it's actually more powerful. This, first of all, it hits the right emotional level. Like we talked about, you're not gonna risk going overboard with emotion and damaging your reputation. Also, this, since it's a context we all know about, you get all that extra information from a familiar context, which gives people more information about what you're talking about with less word. You just bought back some more time that you could use to persuade or explain more. When you get your business story, you only need to add 2 things. Make sure it's relevant to them and sets the right tone. In the previous example, relevant was, hey, I'm talking about drinking coffee at work. We all know this situation. We're in. For setting the right tone, end with, oh man, we gotta have backup plans. If I went on to talk about something that is risk averse or having backup plans, this is connected. We're already primed and good to go on that. With that, you'll avoid ruining your relationships or your reputation with bad stories, and you'll nail that extra influence from your very first attempt. Now that stories are working for you, you're feeling pretty confident, like you could pull off anything. So you've heard about using humor in business and how it's the new cutting edge skill. Even more impact in even less time than storytelling. And yeah, humor is more powerful, but it is also even more risky. So in this video, I show you how to safely add this weapon to your tool belt, and it's actually even easier than what you think you have to do.